I think weight on the sides helps me with resetting and blocking, because when you're blocking and hitting a reset, the last thing you want to do is twist the paddle in your hand. So a little more weight on the sides will put the weight on the perimeter of the paddle, and more weight on the perimeter of the paddle usually means a broad and sweet spot, maybe some more vibration dampening. The more weight, the more vibration dampening, the less vibration you should feel. Okay, so thank you for tuning in to another one of my episodes. We're just going to get right into where to put the lead tape on your pickleball paddle. So this is an interesting process. There's a couple things that go into this. The first thing is what type of shape of paddle you're using, how heavy your paddle comes in at stock, as they call it, which is how much it weighs when you get it out of the box, which definitely varies a lot, and what you are trying to achieve with your tungsten tape. So I say lead tape, but actually tungsten tape is what we're using here. Tungsten tape, I think, is in a lot of ways superior to lead. There are some issues with, and this is not just because Selkirk only sells tungsten tape. Obviously, I love Selkirk, and so I'm here to talk about how great their tungsten tape is. Selkirk actually has the best tungsten tape, and that's something that I know this is a Selkirk podcast, but that's actually the truth. I use Selkirk tungsten tape for many reasons, and I think that it is great because not only is it thin, so I can put 2 to even 3 potentially on a 16 millimeter paddle layers of tungsten tape, which is better for customization. I think some tungsten tapes are too thick, and the thicker that it is, the less customization I feel like I can use if I really want to get dirty or down and dirty and how much weight I exactly want. So yeah, that's something I like about Selkirk tungsten tape. It also never comes off. I've never had any Selkirk tungsten tape come off before in my career as a pickleball player. Lead tape, on the other hand, can be technically poisonous. I know there are some concerns about lead tape that it might, cause issues. Might not be good to be rubbing your hand against lead all the time. I don't know the science behind that. I just know that that's what I've been told. So if you have any insight on why lead tape is bad, or maybe if it's not bad, maybe if I'm just being, a little bit concerned about nothing, let me know, because I'm curious as to if that's actually true. Because I don't know if I got it from the most reliable source. I just heard lead tape was bad. Okay. So anyway, where do you put your tungsten tape? So depends on a couple things. If you're using a paddle that is elongated versus a wide body, that changes some things if you're trying to achieve the same thing. So there are different things to do. If you want to use tape, weighted tape, on the top, that will give you more power and more plow through. So there's a difference between pop and plow through. So pop is how much power is coming right off of the ball, right off of the paddle, that is, on a short counter. So let's say, you're just hitting a counter here or a volley and you want pop. Well, it's tough to get a lot more pop from weighted tape, because pop mostly comes from the internal construction of the paddle, I would say. If you really want more pop, more weight will allow you to achieve a bit more pop, but I would say that weight on the top of the paddle will give you more plow through on drives and serves. So plow through means the amount of pace that you are getting when you are imparting your own pace on the ball. So on a serve, nobody is tossing it, to you or hitting it to you. You're tossing it to yourself, and then you're swinging. So if you're generating your own pace, weight on the top will give you more plow through serves, drives, maybe off of a shorter return if you want to hit a ball very hard. Plow through meaning just inertia, if that's the right way to use the word. There are some disadvantages, though, to putting lead tape on the top of your paddle, or tungsten tape on the top of your paddle. So any weight that you put up here is effectively heavier than weight that you put down here. Okay? The reason for that is if you have weight on the top, then it will feel heavier in your hand when you swing it around. The reason that it will feel heavier in your hand when you're swinging it around is the same way that if you were to take a hammer and then hold it with the hammer part, the heavy part on the bottom, and then try to swing it, that's not that heavy. Same thing here. If I did this with the grip on the top, it feels super light. But if you took that hammer and reversed it, where the heavy part was on the top, and then you swung it around, it would feel super heavy, because where the weight is distributed makes a big difference in terms of how heavy that is going to feel in your hand. Hey guys, James Ignatowich here. Make sure to not get ghosted in the pickleball group chat. Play more. We all know the feeling. You're down to play some pickleball. You send a message to your group chat. A couple people like the message. Are you sure you're going to play the game? You don't really know. Play More is a new pickleball app that does that frustrating part for you. I hate setting up games. I try to make sure somebody else does it every single time. But if I have the Play More app, it changes everything for me. So you're going to be playing with players your level. No more 5-0 versus 3-0 matchups. It's going to be all streamlined and super easy. So make sure to check out the Play More app. Try it out on the App Store or use the web version at getplaymore.com. So for me, I put my tape right here on the side. So it starts here and then goes here and then nothing on the top. Same on the other side. So I do not put weight on the top because I don't feel like I need any extra plow through because I'm already able to impart a ton of pace on the ball, and I don't really want to lose any speed with my hand because, again, if you put weight on the top, it will feel slower and heavier in your hand. So just as a preface for the rest of this, if you put weighted tape on your paddle, there is no free lunch. If you're getting anything, you're giving something away pretty much exclusively. I mean, any tape that you put on the paddle will make the paddle heavier. The swing weight will probably be higher unless you're putting it right on the butt cap. The swing weight will be higher, and with a higher swing weight becomes more power, but also less hand speed. It's going to be less maneuverable, so if you're somebody that doesn't have the fastest hands, that could be a problem. So for me, I put the weight on the sides. I put the weight on the sides because this is a power paddle, I would say, from Selkirk, and power paddles have their advantages and their disadvantages. I don't feel like I need any weight up here because it already has great power, but I feel like I could use a little more stability on the sides. So if you're somebody that uses a very powerful paddle already, I would say if you want to balance that out, you can put more weight on the sides or here at the throat so that the sweet spot will be broadened a little bit. It will also increase the twist weight. So there are two different types of swing weight you can call, or weights you can call it. You can call it swing weight, and then there's twist weight. Swing weight is the weight that you feel when you do this. Twist weight is this weight. So with all other factors considered equal, technically you would want a lower swing weight if you could, so that it feels lighter in your hand, and you would want a higher twist weight. That's the most general statement ever, but a higher twist weight is better because that just means it's a higher weight that is needed to twist the paddle. So there's more weight needed to make this paddle twist. So if you're somebody who's playing and you feel like your wrist is flimsy, super common thing. I felt that way a little more with my last paddle, the Power Air, as compared to this paddle, because that paddle had a lower twist weight. I felt like my paddle sometimes would twist in my hands. If you're somebody that feels like your paddle is twisting on soft shots, if you're using too much wrist on your dinks, a paddle with a higher twist weight would help you. More weight on the sides would definitely help you. So that's how I feel too. I think weight on the sides helps me with resetting and blocking, because when you're blocking and hitting a reset, the last thing you want to do is twist the paddle in your hand. So a little more weight on the sides will put extra weight on the perimeter of the paddle, and more weight on the perimeter of the paddle usually means a broadened sweet spot, maybe some more vibration dampening. I like that too because I don't like a lot of vibration in my hand. So if you're somebody that doesn't like the feeling of vibration in your hand, you feel like it might give you tennis elbow or something, weight on the sides, or just in general, weight helps. The more weight, technically, the less vibration dampening. The more vibration dampening, the less vibration you should feel. So if you want to just put the paddle, or the weight of the paddle on the throat if you just put it down here, that will have the least impact on the swing weight and the twist weight. What it can do is help shore up this area here if there are mishits near the bottom of the paddle, which is super common. I've definitely hit my fair share of mishits near the bottom of the paddle. Weight on the bottom will help there. So just for a quick recap, also if you want to put weight in the handle, there are some pros that put weight in the handle or near the butt cap. If you want to put weight there, then that will have much less of an impact on the swing weight. It's not going to feel much heavier, but you will increase the weight. And it's not going to have as much of an effect on your power or your pop or your twist weight, but there is a good chance that you will feel an improvement in vibration dampening because the actual weight of the paddle has increased. So just as a quick recap, if you want more power, but you really are okay with sacrificing and having the paddle feel heavier, having a higher twist, and have a higher swing weight, weight up here is the way to go. If you want a bigger sweet spot on the sides and you're going to go for a marginal increase in power, but nothing crazy, you are going to make the paddle heavier and the swing weight will feel higher, so it's going to be harder to swing the paddle quickly to a certain extent, but you do feel like the paddle is more solid and you've got a bigger sweet spot. Then you might want to put weight on the sides. Could help your resets. And then if you want weight on the throat, it'll do a little bit less so of putting the weight here, but not too dissimilar, just a little more shored up mishits on the bottom of the paddle. If you use a very head-heavy paddle, then weight here can be good. And then if you just want to increase the weight without increasing the performance metrics too much, then you can put the weight in the handle. It'll also help your vibration dampening. And that's a little bit different from a wide body. So the wide body, if you're somebody who uses a wide body, then maybe you do want to put a little more weight up here because wide bodies tend to have, in general, lower swing weights, more pop, less plowed through, and higher twist weights. So just like we talked about before, plow through, swinging hard on serves, swinging hard on drives, going for your full power, that comes from weight near the top. And as you can see here, a wide body is shorter than this paddle, so there is less weight near the top already. So if I were to use a wide body, and I love using a wide body, we can get into why that is in our next episode, I would put more weight near the top to help myself with power. So if you're using a wide body, all of the previous things that we talked about on the elongated paddle hold true, except I would say putting a little more weight near the top definitely has more of a use case, because if you're somebody that uses a wide body, you might notice this. You've got great pop, the paddle feels very solid. It's got a bigger sweet spot and it feels good in your hands, but you might be missing out on some power on drives and serves just because you are using a shorter paddle, and that is just how it goes. It's less like a tennis racket in that sense, if that makes it easy to understand. That's about it. So if you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching.